All right, welcome back. There's something out there that's called now the Great Resignation 2.0. It could be on the horizon, with nearly 3 in 10 workers expected to quit their jobs by the end of this year, and younger workers could be at the helm of that change. Survey findings released by Resume Builder on Wednesday found that 28% of 1,000 full-time workers questioned plan to quit their jobs before the end of the year, with the highest percentage coming from the service industry and workers ages between 18 and 34. You can increase your salary quicker when you change jobs every few years, and those early career years are the best time to do that. Now, these younger workers are eyeing a more comfortable spot in the workforce. Yeah, okay. With more than half of those dissatisfied with their current situation. 56% citing low pay as a culprit behind their interest in leaving. 44% highlighted desire for better benefits, while the desire for less stressful work trailed slightly behind at 43% of respondents. Oh, boy. Remote working options are another priority as workers eye their next role after quitting, and increased demands from the workforce could shift positions to more remote or hybrid offerings if finding candidates becomes difficult. Broken down into different numbers, 21% of respondents overall said that they're somewhat likely to quit their jobs this year, with 7% considering themselves highly likely to make that change. Well, the first Great Resignation came after the COVID-19 pandemic, when 47 million Americans quit their jobs in 2022 alone, leading many to regret that decision later. Now, according to a survey published by Paychex in February 2023, if you ask me, history may be repeating itself here. My next guest has seen a few of these trends come and go. I'm sure he's got a good opinion on this one. Please welcome into the show, Craig Bolanos. Craig, any 30,000-foot view ideas about Resignation 2.0?
Well, I'm going to weigh in on it. And the first thing, Scott, I got to tell you is no, there is not going to be 47 million resignations just like we saw during COVID-19. That's not going to happen. The other thing I point out is that survey that was just quoted, it was the service industry with people between the ages of 18 and 34. I mean, most people who get into the service industry between the ages of 18 and 34 aren't necessarily looking to make a career out of it. I think the bigger story is this. People got used to job hopping in 2020, 21, and 22 because it was a great way to command a larger wage base. I think there's an entire generation of workers who are a little upset and disappointed that RTO, return to office, is a thing again, and they're pushing back. But it's clear to me that the balance of power now lies again with employers, not so much workers, and that's changing the narrative that's causing some of the rebukes that you see on Reels, Instagram, etc.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I'll take it one step further. I mean, this whole thing of making work fun or nice, or, I mean, look, I'm older. Everybody knows that I'm 58 years old. But there's a time where we had these work buildings where everybody had a kitchen and you had this collaborative environment, and you wanted your firm to be in the top 5 best places to work in the city, which I think is a lot of garbage, right? And I can just hear my father's voice. The reason why it's called work is because it's work, right? It's not, you don't go to fun, you go to work to make money. You don't go to fun to make money. And because there are some things that are difficult if you really want to get ahead in life. You got to put your head down and get it done. You're not supposed to be there to have a good time playing ping pong half the day while the other people that you're up against are in meetings doing what needs to be done, because it's not that easy to do. And this is a great example of how everybody's looking to be coddled, and maybe that's why they're hopping jobs, when, man, if you just put your nose to the grindstone and get after it, in 5 years' time, you might think that, hey, maybe all that hard work I did is starting to pay off, and I'm glad I didn't start to hop.
No, you're right. Not everyone's entitled to a ping pong table, a PlayStation, and a Serenity pod in the office. It's just not going to occur. But I also think it's important. I've got 2 kids, Scott, that are actually a part of this, what we call Gen Z. And I want to make sure, in fairness to them and all of those that are listening, heck, I even employ 2 people that are in Gen Z. They're not out there on Insta making fun of Dolly Parton 9 to 5. Oh, by the way, what a great movie and an even better song. They're willing to put their head down. I think there's a real bifurcation. And a lot of this is developed from the fact that these young people saw their parents, and to some degree their grandparents, work 24/7, not 9 to 5, but all the time. And isn't it interesting that there are so many in the newest generation who are willing to take what's called a middle class pay as long as it equals a lifestyle? versus those who are chasing shiny objects. Whether that's good or bad, we'll let our future economy in the US decide. But remember, our economy is based on the consumer. And in order to have a strong consumer, you need to have this money and these demands and wishes. So I'm curious to see how this unfolds over the next 20 to 30 years. But clearly, the game is up. No one's going to get a PlayStation, a ping pong table, and a Serenity Pod. You're going to have to do some RTO, return to office. And then the next big event, Scott, is will this 4-day work week actually take hold in America?
Stop.
Only in certain industries? And then how will the industries that are left out of it revolt and repeal to the rest of the collective?
And before long, we'll be sitting around manifesting abundance and doing all these things that I think are naps. And I'll end on this one, Craig. Maybe you'll agree with me or not. It doesn't matter if you do. But we're going to have a downturn in this economy at some point in time. If not, we're seeing it already in labor. And it's not going to have, the employee is going to have no leverage in this at all. And it's going to be return to the office, RTO, whether you like it or not. And by the way, if you weren't here and I need to fire somebody, I'm going to fire people I don't know and never saw. So at some point in time, these people are going to wake up to the fact that these new ideas about making myself really comfortable at work, there's only a few people in this world that get to love what they do for a living, and it's mainly entertainers and athletes, okay? And if you're not one of those two, just put your nose to the grindstone and get after it, and then you'll have those nice things you want after you put in a good 10 or 15 years. But anyway, that's my rant, and I could keep going forever. Thank you very much, Craig, for being on the show. Craig Bolanos, again, one of our only guests that's been on the front page of the Daily Mail. I love that very much. All right.